end of the road for a tragedy that unfolded on Bayshore Boulevard nearly 3 years ago. Jessica Reisinger-Robineau and her 21-month-old daughter, Lilia, were killed attempting to cross the street when two young men were racing. Police say one of those men, Cameron Herron, was going over 100 miles per hour right before he hit and killed them. ABC Action News reporter Heather Lee was one of the first reporters there on the scene that day of the crash and has been following this case ever since then. She was in court today as Herron's family pleaded for forgiveness and the victim's family begged the judge for maximum punishment.
Cameron Herron, his family and friends spent the first half of Thursday morning painting the 21-year-old as caring and forgivable with no intent to hurt anyone, calling what happened on Bayshore Boulevard in May of 2018 a tragic accident.
It has been devastating for him and our family.
The impact plays over and over in his head. It'll never go away.
His defense team saying Herron made a mistake and didn't fully understand the consequences that could occur while speeding. Dr. Michael Scott Mayer also testified that scientifically the brain of an 18-year-old isn't fully developed and wired the same way the brain of a person in their 20s is.
How could he do something so stupid? He's a bright kid. It is because the stop and think part of the brain, the frontal lobe, where we stop and think about our action, is not developed.
Herron's family also talked about selling their house and fighting their insurance company to get money to pay the Reisinger-Robineau family.
We also have a perspective on this. So I don't want to seem that I don't feel for the Herron family. I do. But their perspective on what they've lost can't compare to two sweet souls crossing the street coming home from a party.
The state also pulled up a log from Herron's Mustang that details how fast it was going just days before the crash, 162 miles per hour on I-75.
This was a crash, not an accident. Please be aware of that.
Emotional testimony from David Robinholt, Jessica's husband and Lilia's father, went on for 45 minutes, with him addressing Cameron directly several times.
It is critical for you to understand that you've created everlasting pain and depths of sorrow.
He described his wife, her character, and personality. He then discussed how it feels to walk into his daughter's bedroom.
I can't get the thought out of my head of the entitled monster who killed them. Something happens to me in this room.
He says talking about the day of the crash is incredibly hard. He recalls being stuck in the traffic on Bayshore Boulevard and turning down a side street to avoid it. He says he knew something was wrong walking into Jessica's uncle's house to grab their luggage and not seeing them there. He says a stranger drove him to the hospital.
I remember seeing a chaplain walk out, and I knew she was dead. I can't explain to you the effort and courage it takes to walk into that morgue and see the injuries that you created on her.
David, in the end, begging the judge to give Herron a maximum sentence of 30 years. The judge has yet to make a decision. Heather Lee, ABC Action News.